Welcome back, everyone. This is Akinar here with more Taiji, where I've got some ideas regarding environmental puzzles. They're not particularly promising ideas, or at least they don't feel like that, but we still should try them out. The graveyard up here, I had remembered about these puzzles at the far side, where we had we had two of the binary strings that we had to put together, each with their own corresponding dot on either the left or the right to tell us how to line up the strings. But then we had another string in the middle without a dot, which was a symmetrical string, and it kind of made it seem as though this was a mask that you just add in to you add them all together, right? That you need to account for all three of the strings one way or the other. And it made me wonder if that maybe was what I was failing to do over here with these other gravestones. We finally did notice previously that we've got a set of gravestones here that have a little dot to signify one side or the start of the string, along with another string here with its own dot on the other side, and then a third string up here. These all have 8 gravestones that the 8 gravestones in the sequence. And then we have another set of gravestones up here, which I was kind of ignoring. And now I'm wondering if that was a mistake. We're going to take a screenshot of this set of gravestones as well, because I'm wondering, do I need to combine all 5 of these and figure out? It would make a little bit of sense, because this is also, if you treat these 2 strings, well, I guess they're symmetrical either way, even if you treat them individually. These are also symmetrical in the same way that those because since there's no small dot as well, there's no dot on either side. So are these playing the same role as the I use the term mask. That's another computer science term that has to do with masking out particular bits and in a string, and that's just where my mind goes. I can't help it. But one way or the other, I think maybe we need to work those into, or at least we should try working them in to our puzzle. Another thing that I had wondered about was the presence of these exclamation mark signs here at the mines. The mine? Unintentional rhyme? The presence of these kind of made me wonder if they are supposed to be a part of an environmental puzzle. Wouldn't that make a lot of sense if they were? I guess, oh, there, the elevator automatically comes up. I was wondering, how am I supposed to resolve the puzzle in the shack to call the elevator back up? But it's very nice and convenient for us there that it supplies, or it calls automatically. Could these be? Do we need to somehow incorporate these? Because they are diamonds. They are definitely diamonds, are they not? I think that must be the environmental puzzle that's in play here. We have to, because if we count these, let's see. So these are diamonds that were facing the other direction. And there were what, 3 yellow diamonds up above us? And now there's 1 down here, so there's an even number of yellows. There's a purple and a cyan here, and there's also a purple and a cyan up here. So I think that must be it. I don't know if those are the only signs. Let's just look around. We're getting over toward the shrine, so probably not any additional signs that I forgot about over here. Let's just check these shacks to be sure, but I don't remember there being any of those in these little puzzle rooms. No warning signs or what have you. Warning diamonds. Break diamonds in case of environmental puzzle emergency. I think that must be how we're supposed to solve the environmental puzzle for this area. So let's take another set of screenshots, because now we have... so it's nice that we've noticed these, but my question still remains as to, like, where is the grid? Where does the grid line up? I guess we have this grid that corresponds to the raft, and maybe the walkway as well. We'll see if we can figure this out once we look at the environmental puzzle panel again and get a count of how many grid squares there are. So I'll go ahead and we'll send this elevator back up. I'll take the other screenshot here of the 3 yellow warning sign diamonds, and then we'll head back to the beginning and see if we can work things out. Okay, so first things first, let's give another shot at this graveyard puzzle. We'll do a reset on this, and I will grab my screenshots here. Or I guess maybe I should not reset that, because isn't this solution here? This is if I do all 3 of the numbers without the gravestones at the top. So I should be able, I think we figured this out last time, that if I just apply these in order, there's the associative property. We can take the result of 3 of them and combine it with the result of the other 2, and that's the same as doing all 5 together at once, I think. Let's see if that works out. So if on the left-hand side, we have 2 1s, in addition to the 1 that we have here, that makes 3. So it doesn't change the parity in that case, or the odd parity. We have 1 0 that we're adding to a 1, which makes 2 1s, so that's now even. And similarly, we have a 0 1 that we add here, and that makes that even. We have 2 zeros in the middle, which don't change the parity at all. Then we have this over here, and then we're going to kind of do the same thing. We're going to flip these 2, I guess. And then this one stays the same. Is that our solution? Yo, okay. This is giving me some hope here now, because we are finally, well, anytime you make progress and solve a puzzle, it's a nice feeling. It's always a good thing to get another puzzle solved. But we just need to, it's only a matter of time before finding all the information that we need and piecing it all together, incorporating all the clues. I just am so clueless in some of these other areas about where to even start, but we're not going to worry about those for the moment. Let's see if we can figure this one out. Now, okay, this is a 6x5 for the mines. And if we look at the screenshots that I just took here, where would that 5x6 line up? I guess we have the raft is a 4x3. So the raft could be, we could account for the raft, or not the raft itself, but the squares on which the raft can navigate in the water. And then you have the walkway on the outside. That's kind of what makes the most sense initially to me. If that is true, then what does that mean? If we look at the top row would have a blue diamond here and a purple diamond here, is kind of what it looks like, right? That blue diamond, yeah, the purple diamond is in the middle. And then, now it is a little bit unclear. So then I could say that there's also a purple diamond on the bottom right. So these purples here would have to get paired together. This one and this one. But we also have a yellow diamond that is kind of on the border. It's not clear to me whether the yellow diamond is here or here. And then on top of that, that says nothing about the... Well, looking at the screenshot for the yellow diamonds up top, they actually seem like... They look like they might go trying to line all this up. I might do a full MS Paint splice together of all the images just to show one image on screen for you all. It's always a little tricky in how I put all this together in post-processing, but I think this one, and this one are the yellow diamonds that are on the higher level of ground. The upper, what do you call it? The higher elevation. That's the word. So then we could probably also say that the blue or the cyan diamond is down here in this corner, but then it's just a little unclear about where's that last yellow diamond. Is it here or is it here? Now, maybe it doesn't matter. It could be that we could solve the puzzle with a yellow diamond in either of those squares. So why don't we, for the moment, pretend that it's there? And if that's the case, now, if that's the case, that probably means that we need to, well, could it be as simple as just doing this? That feels almost too simple. That's too simple. So, yeah, because that actually ends up being a pretty easy pairing. What might be the case, what might not be so simple is, are we supposed to actually include the raft and its diamonds? Because it has yellow diamonds here, 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 and here. That would make things a bit trickier, and maybe that's what we're supposed to do. Now, is it that much trickier? It sure feels like it, because is the puzzle even solvable like this? It probably is, but I need to be a little more, I need to somehow segment the board a little bit differently. So now I have to account, wow, do I have to really account for 5 yellows in this row? That kind of means this is starting to feel a little overcomplicated, but it also might be doable. Let's give it a shot. It's gonna, with these markings, I kind of wish I could make them different colors, but I think we know that the corners, these corners here are meant to be cyan. I think because you have the cyan diamonds and you have the purple diamonds set up here, they have to be in the same space, don't they? Because otherwise you would be crossing over one type of space. I don't think you couldn't have like an empty space connecting the purples while also have a filled in space connecting the blues. That which leads me to believe they kind of need to be together. So then, could we start splitting the board? Do they want us to use the empty space to like split the board like this so that these 2 yellow diamonds kind of go where they go? Is that really all we're doing here? Where we could do this, couldn't we? We could actually just do that. That feels like a very Taiji setup. We could even do this just for make everything fully symmetrical. Dang it. Doesn't that work though if I'm, well, if I have the yellow in the right space here, which maybe I don't. But I think the raft diamonds are all in the empty space. And then, oh, that's the problem, is that I've put I have 4 yellows all together in this big connected space. Can I fix that by doing this? Yo! Oh, baby. I'm just, my only little bugaboo being perturbed here is that those backwards signs where we had purple, yellow, and blue at the bottom, they felt that like they were a little displaced. They didn't feel like they were directly on this square or directly on this square. But I suppose when it's Taiji, you just assume that everything lines up in some pretty formation. Yo, okay. We have 4 out of 9 environmental puzzles. that we have solved. And I just had this idea. It came to me thinking about the game that, wait a second, there are those signs. We've seen those signs with exclamation marks. And aren't they diamonds? They have to be involved somehow. The other areas, I think I did have an idea in one area that I wanted to try, but do I remember what it was? Aha, I think I do remember what it was. The mill was the other place where I thought, okay, I don't know that we could just try flipping everything 180 degrees. We could just try doing this. That's, yeah, okay. Sure, but did we try this before even? It's worth just a shot. Okay, didn't think so. I don't know what to do about this one. Because the only clue that I can see with those solar panels is the fact that they, they have that wire that runs in between them. And otherwise, I've not noticed yet what the distinguishing characteristic is supposed to be. Or if we're supposed to try to use something in the building underneath. When you walk inside of that building under the solar panels go away and you see what's underneath. Are we supposed to line those two things up somehow? But if so, like, there's nothing in that inside area that would seem to be a puzzle element, at least not to my mind just yet. So we're gonna put a bookmark in the rest of the environmental puzzles, take the progress that we have, and we are going to try the hub puzzle. I had been putting off doing the puzzle in the middle of the island, wink wink, because, it feels like endgame. And I'm like, well, what if solving this puzzle, what if it rolls credits or something? Or, who knows what it does? Who knows? It has this really, it has this noticeable white border around the pressure plate. But we've also had access to this for a very long time. We've been able to do this since solving our 5th overall general area. So maybe this is just something that the game has wanted us to do for a while. Either way, I think the curiosity is ultimately what is motivating me to take a look. Because as much as I like to do everything in its due time and place, including saving endgame things for the very end, at the same time, I'm so curious to know, what does solving this puzzle do? Now, that presumes that we can actually solve this puzzle. Let's see if we can make that happen. They are giving us some pretty significant set of constraints in the center with these two four purple petal flowers. Say that 10 times fast. So these squares here are kind of forced to stay empty. Kind of have to do that. Which means that you kind of have to, oh boy, this immediately could get a little bit interesting, because it kind of means what? It kind of means we could make this set of shrine dots happy by doing this, and then we kind of need to have an empty space that connects these two white dots, while also satisfying these two yellow lines. So it looks like they want us to do something like this, because we need to kind of have the start to the yellow room here, but then it also needs to extend down to this white diamond. So could we do this and then this? Or do I need one more? I need one more square. So I need to do that, and then I need to have 8 squares to satisfy this room, but I have a whole lot of space to play with down here. That actually, nope, there's a detail I'm missing. I need to have actually that open like that. But now once again, I just add 2 more squares here. And I think that's a solve. Ooh. Oh, there is a doorway opening here. I kind of had a feeling. But it almost feels like some sort of dimensional portal more than a doorway. That's the... Man, it does... This almost feels... This feels like I'm almost walking down the... past the Lord Vessel, down the steps toward the kiln of the First Flame. The Dark Souls influence... there's more to it in this game than maybe I would have expected at first blush. Okay. Oh my. Okay. This waterfall is flowing backwards. Boy, we have really stepped through the portal here, haven't we? We have all of a sudden... Whoa! Rainbow Land. Sort of. Oh, it's like my cursor? My little friendly fairy cursor that's been following us around for the whole playthrough. There's a whole bunch of friends. Fairy cursor friendland. Okay. So, is it supposed to be... Are we looking at an alternate version of the overworld? Is this the mill down here? But kind of... in Bizarro World? Dare I look at what this puzzle is? Whoa, what is this? What in the world do we have here? Oh, shit. Oh. I kind of want to take a stab at this. This is a new type of puzzle where we're given a 4x4, but I can't actually change any of the squares. The only thing I can change it... Oh. Oh, that's what we're doing. Oh, I totally guessed that wrong. So, interesting. We are placing the lines. Okay, I think I see clearly what we want to do here. That makes sense. We've got L's in various rotations. I think that... Okay. This is... Oh, shit. And I just made a bridge. Oh, shit. Oh, this is wild. This is absolutely... Oh, my God. A whole new... Jesus Christ. Talk about a whole new world. The shift in music as well. It's a very subtle shift, but you can tell it's done in a way where the music feels just a little bit fragmented and otherworldly. Okay, so isn't this kind of how puzzle randomizers work? Or maybe even how puzzles are generated in the first place? It may not even just be specific to randomizers. I don't know exactly how designing a puzzle video game works, but I think I've heard some people talk about it or describe it as sometimes what you do with complicated puzzles is you fill in, you have like a random, maybe a random generation, or you slightly tweak a random sequence of squares that have been filled in on a grid like this, and after the fact, you go and fill in the symbols, or you have some program that fills in the symbols in the appropriate place. So that's kind of what it feels like we're doing here. Oh, this is really... I would not have been able to guess that this is what we would see upon... I had a feeling there was going to be a door that would open. Oh my God, what in the heck is this? Whoa. The yin-yang tree. The one tree to rule them all. Except, is it two trees? If that doesn't sum up the Taiji experience there. Okay. So there's 4 circles here on the ground. It kind of feels like we need to... It kind of feels like we need to fill in each of these 4 areas. And then complete the puzzles in each of these 4 areas. And they do seem to correspond to... There's 9 major areas in the game, but it does feel like there are kind of like 4 more standard puzzle elements. The lines, the shrine dots, the diamonds, and the flowers. Those are... there might be one I'm forgetting. But I think all of the other areas feel like their own... You can't really... It's difficult to combine the binary strings with any other type of puzzle. But the elements that you can put on a grid layout together, I guess you can... That's what I'm thinking of. These are the 4 elements that do play ball on the same sort of board. But you could do that with the snaky mazy dance floors as well, I suppose. Because the snaky mazy dance floors, we've seen examples of those puzzles for each of the different symbols. This feels pretty straightforward. So right now we're just kind of, I guess, unlocking the access to... There's not a ton of puzzles here, right? This is not like this... It's not like the underground or behind the waterfall area that we unlocked that just has just an insane amount of puzzles. These so far look like they just have a very small handful of puzzles locked behind each of these bridges. Another... Yeah, you can hear the shrine theme, but it's not quite the shrine. Okay. I had also wondered if maybe somehow the environmental puzzles could be solved using information. Whatever content was locked behind that hub puzzle. It doesn't appear like that's the case, but can't say for sure. I think we have to put this one here, don't we? And then we can put this one here. And then we can put this one here. And we could put this one here. And we could put this one here. Nope, can't do that. It could go here. There could be a multitude of solutions, I think, on that one. Once again, we do have the staircases similar to the gardens area in the overworld. Which I can't help but think that its environmental puzzle has to do with those 6 sets of flower beds. But I'm not sure. There's also a little mini trellis here. I guess we'll go ahead and keep solving the puzzles in this area. And if this does indeed, if this is the way to get credits, then we roll credits. I don't think we're going to be locked out of coming back to solve puzzles. So whenever or whatever happens in completing this area, we'll see. These puzzles I may be jumping the gun, but I'm getting the sense that being able to complete these puzzles in this area, since there's so few of them, it feels like an attainable task. But let's see if it is indeed attainable within today's time frame. I guess this would have to go here, wouldn't it? And then this one can go here. And then this one can go here. And this one can go... This is an interesting way of filling these in. Oh yeah, I was doing the opposite. That's the one I wanted there. This is... You got to use backwards brain. Oh, wait a second. Oh, hell no. Oh, okay. That moment of realization. That moment of realization that, in fact... Okay. We had previously done some puzzleception down behind the waterfall, which is a great set of panels. We're kind of running that back in this area. Let's just find out if we've managed to luck into a solution. Okay, it gives us the individualized feedback on these. We have to come up with an arrangement of flowers that works for all 3 panels. Now this is, I think, far more of a parallel to the set of panels in the Witness that I was thinking of. But I love any sort of puzzle design like this when you have this, I don't know, there's got to be a term for it. I mean, with puzzleception is the best thing I think we've got going for us. So let's see if we can. Now I can rearrange them on any. I don't have to go back to this panel per se to rearrange any of the symbols. So I can figure out what would be a spot that this would work. If this is the only one that's not, let's see where it's not happy on each of the, it's just this one. Okay, so we just need to find a new home for this symbol and then we're good to go. I think so. It's interesting because the flowers don't really affect each other, do they? You can kind of put a flower anywhere on the board without it really... If we're thinking in a world where the squares are already filled in for us no matter what, then the presence of a flower adjacent to another flower doesn't affect it. So, would that work? No, because I'm thinking backwards. It's the 2 yellow, 2 purple, which means you have to do something like this. That would work for that one. It would also work for this one, and it doesn't work for this one. It doesn't work for that one. But maybe... it doesn't work for this one either. Where will it work? It would work here. Oh boy. This is going to be a guessing game, isn't it? This is... Man. Why this one? Now, it could be that that one of these other flowers is taking up the space of where the 2 yellow, 2 purple is supposed to go. So we might have to completely... I think this is where I put it to begin with. We might need to revisit... Let's see if that is the case. Is there any square where well, actually, no. That actually couldn't be true, would it? It actually, by definition, because they are all distinct. They're all distinct. So it is not going to be happy on anybody else's square. That much is actually true. Okay, so that does help simplify things, I think. Did we try here already? We did. There's only so many places. The corner, of course. The corner has the least things that you have to worry about. So, of course, whoa! Of course, the corner would make sense, but that visual effect there. Okay, we are really bending the rules of reality here. That was wild. So have we... Yeah, there we go. We have filled in a circle here at our tree. Okay, and I cannot interact with... Oh, I think we also lowered... Let's see if when we solve the next set of puzzles, I think we lowered one of these steps here. One of these little barriers. It looks like there's 4 barriers on the way to another panel here. Or maybe just a button that does something. Something... What is that something? It's got to be something crazy. It's got to be something... Maybe. Maybe crazy, maybe not. Call me crazy. Call me maybe. Let's get back on track here with solving some puzzles. We have two white. It's probably going to do the same thing, right? It's going to do the same. We're doing the same gig here. Okay, I think it feels like they want us to put one set of symbols here in order to share this room, this one big room. Now, would that work on these others? It does. and it works there as well. So those white lines are probably good to go. We could put another set. Let's see. There's a little mini L's here. Do those work on these? Not quite. It looks like you'd rather have them like within this shape somewhere. The question is where exactly? We could put them at a couple different spots. If I put them, let's see. This S shape here is on its own, which could be okay, right? We could, you know, you could have a situation where this happens, but then does that work for the other boards is the question. This is fun. I like this. This, okay, this stair step shape here does happen twice on this board. Could I, aha, I think maybe here. It's a little dicey. Can I put, let's see if I can put this here. And this here. So those would work for this board, and then I think they work for this board as well. Okay, so the blues are potentially in a spot, but then do they work on the final one? They do. I think that's... We've got two sets of lines solved. Can we find one final home for the yellows? They do have to have distinct shapes, right? So I can't put... Well, let's think about this. They have to be distinct shapes. Is that true? Like if I put this one here and this one here, these are... This is another L, just like the ones that the white rooms have. Although it's actually a different L from the one that the yellow is in over here. Because it's... We can only rotate them. We can't flip them. I think if we were to rotate one of these... Yeah, they're actually backwards from each other. So the L shape, we probably want to steer clear of. Can we instead use... Can we use the 3 vertical here? Does that make sense? It looks like it might. We just need to find the right spot for them. Maybe. Maybe. What about over here? The 3 vertical might not work. Because that would kind of put... Let me just try something to be sure that I am... Would this work for this board? It would. So the yellow lines and the white lines can share the same shape. The shape doesn't necessarily have to be distinct. It's the shape and also the placement of the line. So the fact that the line is just in a different square within that shape makes it distinct, makes it unique. It's a unique combination of the shape of the room and the placement of the line. But that this particular placement for the yellow lines doesn't necessarily help us over here. Although maybe if I put this here and this here. I don't think it's going to work on the last board though. That's where the problem comes in. This backwards L over here, it only matches with this one down here. Oh no, it would also match with this one up here, wouldn't it? Huh. But then, what am I doing on this board? Let's see. This one has 3 possibilities. We've got this shape here that the yellows are currently in. We have the shape that the blues are in, and then we have... And then we have the squares that the white lines are in. But if I take up residence in... Let's say if I put this one here. and I put it here, that would work for that. It would also work for this, but then it would not work here. What if I instead moved it here? Now it's not going to work here. Oh, this is tricky. This is fun. I love this style of puzzle. But it is tricky. It do be sneaky. There are several little, yeah, we're using the mini L's for the blue lines on this segment. Huh. Let's come back to this. Let's set that one aside. I feel like I'm at a little bit of an impasse there, or at least when I have other puzzles to try, it feels nice to be able to cycle between them and not expend too much mental energy if we're feeling like we're at a dead end on one. So, okay. So now we have, let's see, 4 pairs of diamonds that have to go. Let's see if we just go one at a time. We think about, that's a big room there. Okay, but that would work technically for those. Now, what about if we go like this? That technically does not work. We'd have to go like that. Now that's happy. Okay, now let's see. What about trying to kind of overlay these mentally in your mind is a fun exercise. Well, actually, it looks like it would make a lot more sense for these to go here, wouldn't it? Because then they would kind of work for that board and this board as well. That actually makes supreme sense. And now I have put the idea of a taco supreme in my head, and I'm hungry. Let's try not to focus on. Let's keep diamonds in mind, and we'll worry about lunch later. Can I do this? Huh. The segment down here, this L on this board, maybe is a dead end. If we try to put something there, it's just going to completely get screwed up by this arrangement on this board. So treat this as a dead zone, basically, is the message that I'm getting from that. What is not a dead zone, or what is its own? This is also weird here because I want to use these 2 squares. No, but then they connect here. They connect like that. So I can't use those 2 squares either. On this board, I have to put the diamonds somewhere in here, right? To make this one happy. And so they would have to go somewhere in. That's maybe what we should do, is figure out, because this board has just 4 rooms. Whereas the other boards kind of have like these, there's some, well, maybe there's only 4 rooms where you could actually put diamonds. Let's just mark. Well, actually, I think now maybe I should mark. It looks like we have to put diamonds in this T shape here, don't we? 1, 2. No, we don't have to per se. That's not a requirement, because there are actually, there's this filled in room, there's this filled in room, there's this one, and then there's 2 empty space rooms. So there's actually 5 rooms on this board. And then on this board, you have the one big one here. And then you have a whole bunch of empty spaces. And then like a little, yeah, I think I like the idea of filling in, because we know for sure, one way or the other, we have to put 2 diamonds somewhere within this set of squares in order for this board to be happy. So if we use those marks, this is where the marker feature is maybe shining brightest. Because now we can see that this is down here where we want to put these. Okay, marker feature actually OP. I think I am. Another thing I thought of, I had been debating before about looking in the options menu. We're inside of this hub area, potentially in an end game area. I think it's probably okay for us to look at controls at this point, because that is, you know, I want to see. I want to see if there's anything that we are missing out on here. We've got our movement. We have the toggle tile, which we're very familiar with. Mark tile, I guess. Okay, we can do that with the middle mouse as well. And then we have check answer, all the things that we are familiar with already. There's nothing. I recognize all of those actions there. So there's nothing that is being no mechanics that we have inadvertently overlooked, which is good to know. So we've got that little bit of confirmation there. We can unmark. The one thing that would maybe be nice would be to just be able to reset your markers. Maybe there is a way that's not listed there. A secret, super secret unmarked button. Probably going to be somewhere over here. No, maybe not. Maybe it's got to be here. No, that's not it. Oh, shit. If I... Okay, well, I can't put them here. And I... Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Am I... Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. This is so much neater. This is so much more interesting than I was just presuming. And this is what happens when you presume, assume, when you make these assumptions that actually mean that the puzzle's going to be impossible to solve. I was thinking that whatever pairs of diamonds that I make, they're going to be the same pair across all three boards. That doesn't have to be the case. That doesn't even have to be close to the case. We can totally repair the diamonds on a different board, right? That totally is not a restriction that I need to have. So when oh my God. Oh my goodness, this is so much more interesting now. Okay. So that means I could do something like this, where I have these two down here, and then I take these two. I could put this one here, and then I could put this one like up here. Let's just get this off the board for now. Is that the one I wanted to move? Is that the one I wanted to move? I think I actually wanted this one here. Like I could solve... Obviously, I need two more symbols to go on the board somewhere, but the ones that are on the board at the moment are happy. And they would be happy on this. No, they would not be, because those are not in the same place. I would need one more somewhere in here. Somewhere in there. What if I put it right here? And then another one like right here. Yes? Yes? No. Shit. So close. Or what feels like so close. Oh, but now I can just go back to... Shit, I can't. I was going to put these two in the bottom left, but that screws things up. How much does it screw things up? It kind of screws things up. It kind of screws them up somewhat significantly. Can I reposition? Oh my gosh. Yeah, this could also really be super tricky. Because that's how, the fact that you can repair the diamonds makes this much trickier to think about. It's not as simple. Like, maybe even these need to find a new home. Could I move these over? Oh. Oh, maybe that's the answer. Could I just put them here? Yes. 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 Oh my gosh. Okay. I am loving this area. Fantastic puzzle design. Absolutely love it. And that visual effect is very cool. Okay. Reality has been bent for a second time. We are slow, and there it is. The second barrier has lowered. We are one step closer to the ultimate destination. Let's try the shrine dots here. See if we can get shrine dots to align in a way that makes sense. Okay, we've got all the way, we got 1 through 8 that we have to place. Let's maybe start with, well, what do we want to start with? We have a room of 9, and then we have a room of 9 again. We have a room of 9 again. Do we have... We have 4 rooms of 9 because we have a 6x6. So 4 rooms of 9. Okay. So we need like 1 and 8 in one room. We need 2 and 7 in another, and so on this board. In this one, we have 2, we have 4, we have 6, we have another 6, 3. This one's a lot jankier. This one's 7, and this one over here is 8. Now it's jankier, but that does kind of, I think, well, there's no 1. There's no 1 by itself. We have 2, 3, 4, and then we have 2 6s, a 7, and an 8. So the 1 is going to go in one of these with a 5. And then over here, I don't know if this is helping me think about the puzzle in any way, but I like counting squares for these sorts of puzzles. So this is where we're starting. We have a 2. We have an 8. Another 8. A 12. And a 6. Okay. Oh boy. This is going to be interesting. I feel like our markers have to, in some way, help us here. Do I want to mark the one that has 9, all 9s? I think that might make the most sense. So we can do, just mark the filled in ones. Okay. Okay, it's not scrolling the mouse wheel. You have to click the mouse wheel, which feels so much more awkward than just hitting M. So we're going to stick with using the M key. So I know that I need to get a 1 and an 8 somewhere into one of these sections that we've marked from the first board. We could put a 1 here, but then we couldn't put an 8 in a similar spot. So this is oh, but does it have, on this board, does it have to be 1 plus 8? It kind of has to, doesn't it? We can't afford to pair off them any other way. They have to be paired off. 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. How does that line up in this room? There's a 2 and a 3. Oh, it lines up because, of course, we are lining up. The markers are not delineating my spaces on this board. What am I thinking? I was thinking that this is going to count as, oh, a 1 by itself because I've run my marker squares around this boundary here. And so this is just a 1 empty. That's not how this works. This is actually a 7. So I could put 7, and I could put 2. And then that would make... No, that's 3. Crap. Well, in that case, I don't even... get these out of here. I want 3, and I want 6. That's what I want. So those two are happy there, and they're going to be happy here. Are they happy here? Maybe. They might be happy eventually if I can get a 4 here somewhere. Oh boy, this is... Whew. This is going to give the brain a workout. Now, aha, this could actually... No, it's fine. Actually, I could put this here, couldn't I? I could do this. Now the 6 is happy on all of these boards. The 3 is happy here, but it's not happy here. But it was not going to be happy without a little bit more work. We need it. We need like a 4 to go either here or here. This is an 8. If I do it like this, then the 8 would kind of need to go in this space somewhere, I think. Could I put 1, 2, 3? This is a 6 as well up here. So there kind of has to be either a 2 and a 4 or a 1 and a 5 up here. Could I do this and... What am I trying to do here? This? No, but I wanted the 4 to help the 3 in this area, didn't I? Yeah, that 5 can't go here because that's going to be too much. Except, wait a second. That's actually perfect. That's 8. That works for the 3. And it works for this room because that's 9. And it works for this board if I can get a 1 up here somewhere. Do I want to do that? If I go back to this board, a 1 and an 8 up here would work. And then an 8 here would work. So like 8 and 1, that works for that board. And it works for this board. Does it work for this board? Not quite. I need... Oh, that's right. I said this was a 12, didn't I? So 4 and 8 here actually makes perfect sense. Not that far. Oh, that's not quite right, though. Do I... How can I do this? That's okay. The 1 is a little bit out of place. The 1 kind of needs to go here for this board. But now everything except the 1 is fine there. Now everything is fine here. Everything is fine here so far. I think we're getting close. We just need to nail down... This 7 goes in with this 1. And I think it goes here because that's the only square that goes in this final room that we need to fill in for the first board. And then I'm just going to... That's a 7 that works there. I think we are so close. We just need this last position for the 2 to make it correct. And I think we are good to go. Yes. It's actually, I think it's centered on my cursor, that little visual effect. Wherever my cursor happens to be at that moment, that one felt much easier than the rest so far. But that's, I think, just because I love dots. I love the Tetris pieces from The Witness. Anything that involves counting squares and lining up those squares on a grid. It's what I naturally gravitate toward. So, all right, let's get back to the last set down here and see if we can actually resolve this one. Do I want to reset or should I go from where I'm at? That's maybe the question here. Let's not reset just yet. let's give a look. I feel like we had solved, well, we had a nice feeling set up for the white and blue lines, but we were having a pretty tough time finding a home for the yellow lines. Let's try to say, let's make, do I want to mark off any of these? Like I could mark, let's start by marking these 2 rooms. And let's take a look at these spots here to see what overlap exists. Not really that much. This is actually a pretty... I wonder if this rules out. Does this rule out these 2 places, these 2 rooms, as a spot for the yellow lines? Or maybe any line? Because if I put a line, if I put the 2 lines in these rooms somewhere, like I could make them happy on this board, but then in what room do they go to line up on this board? This board here, this little Z shape in the middle, doesn't have a partner, does it? Am I blind? But I don't think it has a partner. And I think the only other places where, oh shit, never mind. There's a single square in the corner. Does that work? Does that work? Yes! I didn't even like fully check this to see if it worked. I just thought, wait a second, that single square room that's just been hiding in plain sight, we needed to walk away and come back with fresh brain. Because fresh brain OP. I'm so excited. Like normally I would be taking a break about this point in a recording, but I'm too excited. I have to see what we have potentially unlocked here. If nothing else, we have unlocked a new instrument, is what it sounds like. This is just gorgeous. It's such a simple art style, but here in particular, it really, really shines. Does this do anything? Oh. Wait. There it is. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, what? Whoa. Oh shit. Okay, I'm not clicking anything. Stuff is just happening. And I for a second, I thought that maybe there was going to be a puzzle to solve. Is there a puzzle to solve? Or can I accelerate the process that we have started here? Oh dear. Oh dear. Have we done it now? Oh boy. Oh boy. It's kind of fun. It's the end of the world and we all know it. Let's just get it over with. Why don't we? Black is the achievement. Oh, this is gorgeous. Oh, look at that. I love it. That is fantastic. Just looking out our little window. Wait, what is that? Oh no, is that our player character? Locked inside of a crystal? Hello? Inside of a birdcage? What is going on here? What in the world? And there you have it. Taiji, created by Matthew Vandevander. Music by somebody named Bednors, and also Matthew Vandevander. I'm sorry that I'm unable to pronounce the rest of your name there, but the additional puzzle design by some other folks. The music has been absolutely gorgeous. And the game has been absolutely incredible. The layers, especially in some of these, that final set of puzzles inside of the dream world. Who the heck knows where we are to begin with? We're inside of a fantastical puzzle world in any case. But I really like the puzzle design. It definitely has inspiration. Thanks for playing. Thank you very much for the game. And as I was saying, it does have, there's a lot of inspiration that it draws from The Witness. Clearly, there's no mistaking that influence. As I'm clicking and hitting spacebar. What about return? Have we reached a standstill? I can scroll the credits. Excuse me. What? Okay, so we can run the credits in reverse. Actually, why is this not a feature in any game? Because sometimes the credits pass by so quickly that I don't really get to absorb them. Like, I saw the name Jonathan Blow here, who is the creator of The Witness, but I also wasn't sure if I saw it because my brain has a tough time fully decoding and reading and taking in. I'm also summing up my thoughts about the game, and it's the Let's Play streamer tax. The brain can only focus on so many things at once. Thanks to Indie Fund, Jonathan Blow, Cliff Harris, and Adrian DeYoung. The music by, is it Gregors? Bednors? Fantastic. Love the music. And yeah, you can tell that so many of the so much of the puzzle design does borrow from or maybe not borrow from, but it is somebody who has played and loved The Witness who has gone on to make a puzzle game. That much is clear. But that's not a bad thing in any way. It is a very it has made for a very good and enjoyable puzzle experience. What I'm doing is I'm trying to scroll up. I had this idea that, are we supposed to unwind the credits back to some earlier stage of things? I'm still holding down the W key to scroll upwards, even though it looks like nothing is happening. So this is the first time that I can remember being able to actually scroll the credits myself in a game, and it does feel like we've reached the end of the road because nothing else. What about the escape key? The escape key lets me go to the pause menu, and I have a feeling if we're talking about drawing inspiration from The Witness, then I have a feeling that that the game is not going to do anything at this point. I think we've reached a standstill. There's nothing more to be said. There's no secret cutscene after the credits or anything like that. So instead of the game just closing on you, it actually just stays open, but it doesn't do anything else. That's sure what it feels like. If I am missing some sort of Easter egg that happens if I wait here for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something like that, feel free to leave a little nudge in the comments. Don't tell me what I'm missing, of course, but if there's something that I'm supposed to sit here and wait for, please let me know. I, in the meantime, am going to load my game because I think that's the only place to go from here. I think we have to go to, we could start a new game, but I don't think that's what we want to do. I think we just want to go back to our 405 puzzle count file. And it does indeed bring us back to right before initiating that mind-blowing credits rolling sequence. So there we go. We did, in fact, roll credits in Taiji. We opened up a portal to a new world. And we also did manage to solve a few more environmental puzzles. So we've made some good progress today. I don't think I'm quite ready to wrap up. So I think what I will do for maybe the remainder of the time here is look around a little bit more for environmental puzzles and trying to figure out what am I missing in each one of these cases. Like one case, I think one spot I really want to investigate more is the orchard, because there's got to be something in the orchard somewhere. It feels like there should be something in the orchard. I don't know if it's supposed to be a tree or a combination of trees or what it is that we're looking for that needs to line up with the environmental puzzle panel at the start. What are we looking for here? I suppose the first thing to do would be like to refamiliarize ourselves with the rules of the orchard, the cherry blossoms. Right, it was, we were wanting to signify which square had, each square would correspond with a tree branch, and one would be longer than the other. And that was pretty apparent on these first few panels, at least. Or you were comparatively lining up. Yeah, I suppose it could be. It was always relative to. It started to get more complicated though. These first ones were just dealing with a single row, but obviously our environmental puzzle does not have a single row. Eventually, the cherry blossom puzzles did progress to multiple rows, like here. So when we have multiple rows in play, what we are counting or looking at, yeah, we're looking at each level of branching. And in each case, there would be a branch that was longer than the other. So that's what we were looking for in each of these. So in the case of, I mean, are there any, I guess I've got my environmental puzzle lined up on my other monitor, and I can see that there is supposed to be, there's a branch, it's laid out in a funny way. It's laid out where there are, it's actually a little difficult to, I kind of want to go to the other side of the island and check out that there was the one standalone cherry blossom where there was a reflection. If we take another look at how this one was laid out, this one feels much more similar to, well, maybe not much more similar, but it feels to be a closer relative to the environmental puzzle, because you have these long squares, or rectangles that are of differing sizes on the bottom, and that's what you have on the bottom row of the EP. But those don't necessarily, does the length of the rectangle, it doesn't necessarily matter. The only thing that matters is which of the initial branches is longer, correct? And that's what we had here. We had the first branch we could tell whether we're looking at the reflection or the tree itself. We could see that that is the case. But the important thing to note is that at the first, at depth 1, at the first level, the first row, there's only 2 branches to choose from. Whereas with the EP, there are 3 branches. So we need to be looking for a tree like these trees here. This one, well, I don't know if this one has 3 branches at the... I feel like it's not going to be some random tree, because there's so many random trees that are strewn about. I guess at the very least it has to be a tree that has 3 branches on the bottom level. And this one feels like it only has 2 before it starts splitting again at the next level. So we need to be looking for a tree that has 3 branches. It would make the most sense if it were a cherry blossom. But I'm not sure I've seen a cherry blossom anywhere else around. It doesn't necessarily have to be a cherry blossom. That would feel the most in spirit with the, you know, being the environmental puzzle for the orchard. But maybe the distinguishing factor is that there's going to be a tree that actually has three different, a branching factor of 3 at its initial stage. And is that tree going to stand out visually from the rest? So far, I have not noticed that. I don't think it would be this one here, because this only has a branching factor of 2. Also, it's just a very... that tree is basically dead. It's got to be a prettier tree than that, right? That's going to be our environmental. The one that lines up with our EP. Okay, I guess this final tree here did have a branching factor of 3 at the initial stage. Now, ultimately, the layout of this puzzle is completely different from what I see on the environmental puzzle. But it's not insanely different. It's actually... There are parts of it that feel similar, but I think that's just because there's only so many ways to arrange puzzles like this. And you might have repeating looking patterns like this, the 2 vertical rectangles over this shorter rectangle that's horizontal. That, I think, appears on our environmental panel, but that might just be a coincidence. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. I see it, guys. I see it finally. Oh, man. This game is pretty good. So, just for the record, I had noticed these dots. Well, I was thinking of them, these little orange bushes. I had thought of them as shrine dots. I was thinking, man, these line up in a diagonal like the shrine dots do. Am I supposed to be... Are these supposed to be a part of the environmental puzzle here? I don't think it's the dots, but they do kind of line up with the walkway. The walkway, which, if we look at things here and we think about the start of the area, the stairs that lead up to the orchard, and the fact that there is a branching factor of 3. This is it. It's the walkway. Holy shit. Holy shit. Of course, now, in retrospect, it's like, of course, I should have seen this all along. Okay, okay. See, it's those kind of moments. It's that kind of a moment. I would say that maybe this is like, the feeling that I most associate with The Witness and why The Witness is my favorite puzzle game. I don't want to talk about, well, again, if you're here at this point and you're watching me play Taiji at this stage of the game, then you really should play The Witness if you have not done so. It's an awesome game. If you like this game, you will definitely like that game. Okay, let's see if we can piece this together now. So, well, I want to take some, do I need to take some screenshots? I probably need to take some screenshots. I'm gonna take, this is the left-hand side of the walkways. So let's take a screenshot here, and then we'll also take it here. We're gonna have to see exactly how this all lines up with our panel back at the start. Like I need to, it's that this is the one awkward part of this is getting everything to line up without involving some sort of screenshots or MS Paint. I can see clearly that this, I think the middle portion is actually going to be somewhat simple to solve. And then we might be able to say that this branch here, this first branch on the bottom row, is probably going to be a short one, and maybe this as well. Like the fact that we have stairs going up as this first branch on the left, this is probably going to be the one that we highlight because it's like the longest one. Okay, all right, let's see if we can get this all to make sense. This one's pretty long here as well on the side. So, yeah, this is all, how are we going to make this all work? Hopefully at this point, just, we've done the hard part. The most difficult part of this puzzle has been just noticing that the sidewalk exists. Ultimately, there was only so many things that it could be, but again, my brain was like, okay, it has to be somewhere in the orchard, right? They would not make us go all around the entire world. Mr. Van de Vander would not require us to be searching high and low across the landscape for a singular tree that happens to have 3 branches at the start. It's not just going to be some rando tree on the other side of the map. And of course, ultimately, it was way stinking cooler than that. Let's see if we can make it work. Make the branches all grow together to a puzzle solution. Let's see if we can make it happen. Okay, I think based on, even without looking at screenshots, I want to say that this one gets filled in. Now is where I do need to, I'm going to bring my screenshots back over to my screenshot window back to this monitor and go ahead, and I got to go all the way over here to start to piece together. Maybe we do the middle first. The middle feels also pretty straightforward, that it should be the one on the left that was the longer branch. And then we have what? This is where things get a little, if we look at the right-hand side here, we have this one branch that went all the way on its own. And it kind of goes to where we have that little shortcut staircase that goes into the gardens. So this one I feel is a bit of a guess, but I'm gonna say that this is a long branch, but I don't know what I'm comparing it to. I guess I would have to be comparing it to these guys, wouldn't I? Because they're kind of on the same row. So does that mean we're also comparing this one, which I have to remind myself what that one looks like? It's also a bit tough to say how it compares to... It really is not clear. We're gonna, just for the... Wow. Yeah, so this one we might... From my screenshots alone, it might be hard to know for certain what we're doing with those. But maybe they're actually supposed to compare. Maybe we're actually, once again, we're not supposed to compare this rectangle to this rectangle per se, but we're only comparing them within their one particular branch. So actually, we're comparing this one to this one. Isn't that the game? That's the game we play with the orchard. And in that case, I think this one is longer than the little supporting branch that goes to these two. And then the screenshot that I have, I think, indicates that this one on the right is the longer of these two. I think that's what we want to be doing. So let's go back and think about how the set on the right. I am gonna, my screenshots are not giving me the best view. I'm gonna go with this as being the longer version for the moment, but we might need to revisit that. And then let's see. I think we have this one on the right and this one on the left. Let's see if that works. Yes. Oh, that feels so good. We now have a majority of the environmental puzzles that have been solved. That is not something that I really was super expecting to have to start this episode. So we're gonna have to have some epiphanies on these other places, but there will be epiphanies. It's just a matter of time. The orchard happened to fall into place for us today, and I'm so glad we revisited that. That is, of course, where we're going to wrap up this installment of Taiji. If you did enjoy the video, consider hitting that like button to tell YouTube to share it with people like you who would also enjoy it. But yeah, we also got to roll credits, and that was something I wasn't necessarily expecting either. But my curiosity could no longer be kept at bay. I had to know what was beyond this puzzle, and what an adventure that was. I really, really love the layering of the puzzles that we got to do in this endgame section, and then the beautiful visuals to kind of sum up the very calm and serene experience of the Taiji puzzle landscape. So great to reach that little milestone. There are still, of course, a ton of puzzles within the waterfall area. Plenty more puzzleception potentially to investigate down there. And we have our environmental puzzles still to work on. So there's still a lot of game left, and I'm looking forward to trying to get that puzzle count. I don't know what the full puzzle count is. Don't tell me just yet. We might get there at some point, but for now we're gonna try to keep getting +1 to that count, one puzzle at a time, and see exactly where it goes. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.